So first of all, I'd like to thank Professor B.S. Nipun for helping organize this program, and also to Sania Wahid. She has said what I had to say. She gave a very good, you spoke very nicely, really. She has given in a nutshell what actually SPICMACAY is trying to do. So, SPICMACAY is a movement, and in the movement lots of people are involved. It's a voluntary movement. There's no paid employee. We have only one full-time paid employee, that's an accountant. So, with me today is Chetan. He's a designer, he's a very artistic person, and he has been with us for many years. So, before I speak, I'll request him to say a few words, and then I will come in. Come on, Chetan, come up.
First of all, I would like to ask you, why do you have to do this? Yes. Right. So, namaskar everyone. My name is Chetan Sharma, and I belong to Guwahati Northeast. So, this is my home, and I'm very proud to share this stage with him right now. And I have traveled across and been with many years with this movement, like he said, and explored myself, understood myself because of this movement a lot. So this movement has shaped me what I am, and irrespective of my educational background or my professional things, the person that I am, this movement has shaped me well. So that has to be like mentioned. And as you all maybe have a bit of idea about this movement, it is literally with respect to our roots. It is not just like some art or some dance or some singing. It is basically to do something with our roots, our originality. So that is somewhere getting lost in midst of like all the things that is around here, all the deviations and distractions that we have nowadays. So this makes us keeps us grounded, and I have been able to contribute in whatever way I could. And yes, there are several modules which you will definitely come to know as and when you give a little bit of your time. It's a voluntary movement. You can give important contributions, and irrespective of whether you are interested in something or not, whether you can do nicely or not, it is not about that you need to learn something here and do it. It is just you need to experience it. When you feel that experience, that one experience that led him to open this movement, let's start this movement way back in 1977. So similarly, like there are experiences which remains with us. That one of those experiences remained with us, and now I'm here with this movement for like 9-10 years right now. So, and I mean, we are glad that he's right now here after cycling throughout the country. He's cycling at this age and just spreading the message to get back to our own roots. He's spreading the message of Gandhi and several other things like related to health and all. But basically the movement is about getting back to our own roots in terms of our culture, tradition, heritage, be it through singing, dance, cinema classics, talks, and various other modules. So I would not take much time, and I would request him to like throw some light on it, and also would request everyone to participate and interact. And this is the opportunity. We will not have him like again here, I don't know when. So please take this opportunity and ask him as many questions as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chetan. Now, I was also a student like you, and I used to sing Western pop music with a guitar. I used to, my favorite were the Beatles at that time. I'm not talking of the 70s and 60s, 70s. And in fact, I can still sing the Beatles. But there was one staff member at IIT, a visionary staff member. He used to organize a whole night of Indian classical music every year with great difficulty. We used to sit at the back, we'd put daris. We were not interested in, what's happening. Play cards, go to sleep. But what he did was, without us knowing it, he planted a seed into me, at least, which is still growing into a massive, massive, massive tree, from which I derive nutrition for everything that I do. My teaching, my research, my cycle yatra, everything. When I finished my B.Tech, I went abroad to do my PhD. And there I remember seeing a small advertisement in New York which said, Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar and Ustad Fariduddin Dagar were going to give a Dhrupad recital at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in New York. So I didn't know who these Dagars were, or who these, or what Dhrupad was. I said, chalo, chalo, dekhen. So you actually went to see it. But what happened that day, it's something like the hidden layer of the neural network. You know what's coming in, you know what's going out, but you don't know what's happening in that hidden layer. So I walked into the hall and walked out 1 inch above the ground, figuratively, and didn't know why it happened. But I said, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anyone. So there and then, any great artist who would pass through New York City, we'd request them to give us an experience at Columbia University, where I was doing my PhD. So like that, Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, many, many great people we brought there. After finishing my PhD, I joined Bell Labs, as was just said, Bell Laboratories. It was one of the foremost labs in the world at that time. Bell Labs, where I saw science and technology at its boundaries. It has produced 9 Nobel laureates. And it just got me thinking, so many Nobel laureates this one lab is producing. Why is there no Nobel laureate in our country? You know? So it got me thinking, and when I did some Chintan Manan, it struck me that we have produced as great, if not greater, than Nobel laureates in this country. But they have not got that chapa of a Nobel laureate. Why? See, what the West does, the West is great at, and never deride the West. Everything in this room is from the West. Everything. Never deride the West. Very, very great. The best of research work I learned from there. But what is the way they do research? They have done research in the outward domain. Our country has done research work, extensive research work in the inner domain. You know what? Like, if you see, the unknown is like a big black box which is infinite in capacity. Unknown is infinite. How the West will try to find that, make the parts of the unknown into the known, is incrementally. While we said, Bhai, I can't spend all my life doing incremental stuff. I want to lead this life nicely. So what do? I treat that black box as a black box. I don't have to know what's happening in it. What I do is, I'll do scientific work in another way. The input-output model. I keep trying out different inputs and checking the output. And I choose the optimal input, or the input for the optimal output, that's all. But I don't know what's happening in the box. It's something like, in all our things it's like that. Even in our medicine, if you see, Ayurveda, Unani, all these medicinal practices are input-output model. They don't sort of dig into you. But once you get cancer, then you have to be dug into. You'll have to be opened up, the cancer will have to be removed. So the West is superb at after the fact. Our country is superb before the fact. If we can learn both, we'll be a 1-2 combination. Today what we are doing is, we are forgetting about this before the fact. Why now I'm depressed. I'm very depressed. I have to go to a psychiatrist, surely. No question about it. But why to get depressed? Oh, I've got cancer, now I have to go and get an operation done. But why get cancer? That is the question which I think our ancestors were very good at answering. They practiced a lot in this direction. I'll give you a small engineering example of how research work would be done in the West and how research work would be done here. See, in the West, nothing is true till it's proved experimentally. In our country, we say nothing is true till it's proven experientially. That's the difference. So, what we say is, for example, I'll give you one very simple example. If I'm feeling hot, how will a Westerner look at the problem? The Westerner will say, well, I'm feeling hot. If I twirl the air around, I should feel cool, so I develop the fan. No, I'm still feeling hot. Expansion of gases has an effect, and I develop the air conditioner, which we all are using. How would traditionally a person from this part of the world look at it? Say, I'm feeling hot because the surrounding air is hot, it touches my skin, it sends an impulse to my brain, the response to that impulse makes me feel hot. What if I can break this impulse response chain? So what do? I use the input-output model. Make my body as a black box. Sit down in Padmasana and try out different things. And what do? I check when, doing what, will I be able to break this chain. After lots of experimentation, I say, hey, I got it. I know how to do it. So I say, come, I'll teach you. He says, sir, I'll go to the engineering college. I'll go to the refrigeration and air conditioning lab. So what happens is, in the lab, you can see if you mix two chemicals, you can see the color changing. But in our case, we mix 1,000 chemicals inside. We can't see the color changing, but we can feel the color changing. And that too with a delayed response. So, do jaga maar kha gaye. One you can't see it, and one it's with delayed response. So what happens is all this knowledge and wisdom in this age of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook gets lost. But it's very valuable. So my dear students, if you are able to take the best of the West and also take the best of what experimentation or what has been given to us by ancestors, you will be balanced. Balanced. You'll be able to lead a very nice life. Today, young people, don't mind my saying, most of them have become imbalanced. I'll give you one small example of how it can help you in the year 2024 as a student of this lovely university. I went to IIT Kanpur. I'm telling you a small story. I went to IIT Kanpur. There I met this boy, bright eyes and smiling. Nowadays students don't smile. He was smiling. So I said, come here. So I said, how are you doing? He said, sir, I'm a topper. So I said, which coaching institute did you join? Sir, I didn't join any coaching institute. I didn't have any money. So I said, which attempt is it of yours? My first attempt, sir. So how did you do it? He did like this. My school. So I said, which school was this? So he talked of a tiny village school. So I said, what was so special about your school? So he said, sir, the motto of our school was हरेक बच्चे की एकाग्रता बढ़ाना, to increase the concentration level of every child. Simple motto. And I'm adding to that, और उसकी धैर्यता बढ़ाना, and increase his patience level. Finished. So wonderful. How did they do it? He said, sir, every morning the whole school had to do half an hour of yoga. So I said, that many schools do? What's so great about it? He said, no, sir, not like how the other schools do it, in which a PT instructor is sent for a 6-month crash course in yoga. He comes back and teaches, do either PT or yoga. He says, also not like what you see on TV. एक पाँव के ऊपर दूसरा पाँव रखोगे, दाएं की तरफ मुड़ोगे तो नाक का दर्द चला जाएगा, बाएं की तरफ मुड़ोगे तो कान का दर्द चला जाएगा. No. He said, was concentrating on my monkey mind. My monkey mind was jumping to Dhoom 1, Dhoom 2, Dhoom 240, to Shah Rukh Khan, to Amitabh Bachchan. He brought it within 3 sigma limits, this much. So wonderful. Then what happened? Then he said, when the school got over, the whole school had to do 1 hour of Indian classical music. So what happened? My mind, which was in this much, came like that and became that focused. So when I took my physics book or my maths book or whichever book, what others would take many hours to do, I'd finish it like this. So we can learn from these things, my students, my dear students. You know, what is the most important thing to do well in studies? You all want to do well in studies, am I right? Hello? So, what is the most important thing to do well in studies? Anyone? Come on. Let's make it a little interactive. What's the most important thing to do well in your studies? Anyone?
To understand what is being taught.
Say it loudly.
Yeah, to understand what is being taught.
Yeah, sure. But what do you require to understand what is being taught?
Concentration.
Concentration. See, you might have the best teacher teaching you, but if you are not having concentration, nothing will come. So first thing you have to have is super concentration. So if you have to have super concentration, what should you do? You should try to develop your concentration, right? For example, like you all play some game. Let's say cricket, some of you play. What you do is you play cricket, one day you play and then next day you don't play. We are dabbling around. One day friends will come on, let's have a cricket game. Okay. What's the difference between you and Virat Kohli or Maxwell? They must have practiced every day for many hours at a stretch. Not only must they have practiced, but they must have had a very good coaches. Right? That coach has learned from his coach, who has learned from his coach, ... So the cumulative wisdom of many coaches has gone into the playing of Maxwell and Virat Kohli. Practice plus a coach has made them top in their field. So, if you want to do well in studies, you have to develop concentration. So what must you do? Practice and have a coach. You have to practice every day. And you have to learn how to practice every day by a coach. Who's the best coach? Our ancestors. Why? Because a person 2,000, 3,000 years back is not different from you in the basic aspiration. The basic aspiration of a person 2,000, 3,000 years back was the same, to do well. And your aspiration is also to do well. So what did they do? They understood that the way to do well is to develop laser beam concentration. So what did they do? They practiced different techniques, tried to develop techniques. They tried to make it better and better and better, pass it down to their children, who made it better, passed it down to their children, made it better, better, better. So what we get is the cumulative research of many, many, many generations, which we call what? We call heritage, we call culture. What is culture? It's just this. It's the cumulative wisdom of many, many generations on how to make you happy. And how to make you happy, one of the main bottom lines is to have laser beam concentration. So, what do? When we practice, look at the simple idea. Look, I have to practice concentration. So, many generations ago, somebody said, okay, let's concentrate on the light. They concentrate on the light, but the light, then somebody must say, light is too gross, yaar. And also it's not going to be there with you everywhere. So let's change it. So over years and years and years of experimentation, they came up with a beautiful thing to concentrate on. One, which is subtle, and two, which is tangible. If you just have subtle, you say just concentrate like this on your mind. You're very tough, very, very, very tough. So it should also be tangible. So what is the thing? The breath. What a lovely thing. The breath is subtle and yet tangible. So what you do is, you say, okay, I'm going to breathe and I'm going to let out and I'm going to concentrate on the sensation which I get at my nostrils. What a lovely thing. It is also, see, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to have a light. You can sit, when you're between classes, you can just sit like that. I'm going to just practice my concentration. That's it. So they must have said, okay, now I've got concentration at a point. But when you're studying or reading, you're not reading one word. You will say, my Dean, Mipun Ji, is very nice. So you'll have to learn how to move your concentration concentratedly. So what do? Say, okay, just take a deep breath. Take your concentration from the nostrils down the windpipe, down to your belly button, nabhi. And exhaling from your belly button up through the windpipe and out through the nostrils. So simple. So you learned how to have your concentration like that. Move the concentration concentratedly. But our ancestors must have, with a lot of experimentation, said, "Nay, this also won't work." Why? See, when we lost the World Cup, you saw what happened? The whole stadium got empty. People didn't even shake hands. How sad. So ancestors must have said, "Ye to nahi chalega. This won't work. You have to go one more step." So what do? So, okay, whomever you greatly admire, place in the middle of your forehead. It could be Lord Krishna, it could be Lord Ram, it could be Prophet Muhammad, it could be Lord Jesus, it could be Mahatma Gandhi, it could be anyone. Place here and put your full concentration there. So the characteristics of that person will come into you, of the thought which you're making. They say that you become what you think, so that characteristic will come into you. These 3 steps you do every day and you see how good you'll do in your studies. You will be very good in your studies. But one more thing our ancestors understood was that she's different from him, he's different from him. So what they designed is so beautifully, so many different paths to the top of the inner Mount Everest. So what did they say? Okay, I don't like to do this, okay? How about music? Would you like to try music? Okay, we'll do it through sound. So what I do? Just take one note and stick on that note. You know, I was very fortunate to learn from Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar. Great man. He taught me classical music. In my vacations, I used to go to him in Kolkata. What a great human being he was. But you know, he was not a music. He used to say, "Ye gana to ek bahana hai." This is an excuse. For what? For what I'm just telling you. How? He'd say, "Look, kone mein baith jao Kiran. Aur sa lagao. Sa 1 hour. Sa 2 hours. Sa 8 hours. Next day again, hello, DCOM. Come. This is a hero, man, DCOM. Yeah. As usual, you're looking like a hero. Huh? You're the main man. Yeah. DCOM has been with us also for many years. Yeah. Coming back to the story I was telling you about my learning from Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar. I was telling them the story. So he'd make me sit in the corner and he would say, "Sa lagao Kiran." Sa. For 8 hours. Next day again he put, "Baidho, sa lagao." 1 month passed. I said, he doesn't want to teach me. You know, I was very, very sad. And after I finished that 1 month, I was actually thinking of going back after a few days. But then I said, "No, I must stick on. I've given a commitment for 1 month, so I have to stick on." And I went back very, very disappointed, disheartened. But really, I'm telling you, my dear young students, in 3-4 months' time, everything of what he said fell into place like a jigsaw puzzle. Beautiful things. He used to say, "Tumhe Re pe jaane ki ijazat tab hai." You have the permission to go to Re. जब तुम्हें सा का दर्शन हो जाए, when you can see Sa. What a great thing. I can't tell you how great the thing is, what he said. And many other things. I won't go into that. I had a very similar experience when I was doing my studies in maths. So it's not just music. I'll give you an example. I was, as I told you, doing my PhD at Columbia University. And there was this president of the American Mathematical Association, Professor David Sigmund, one of the greatest mathematicians alive at that time. He was going to take a course on probability theory. So I said, "Oh, what a great thing. I'll be learning from this man." So I took that course. And what happened was everything was flying high. I'd request those who have to go right now. I'll stop here because we're talking of concentration. I don't mind. Anyone can go. But if you want to develop concentration, I'm talking about concentration. So I would like that anybody who has to go should go immediately. Just I'm going to finish off very quickly. So what he did was, what he was teaching, he was going sky high like this. So what happened was I went to his chamber and I said, "Sir, I thought as a bright guy, I don't understand what you're doing." He said, "No, Kiran, you're doing fine." And he pushed me out. But I felt very, very disheartened, because what I felt was that if I don't understand this fundamental course, I won't be able to do a PhD. So actually I left and I joined the Columbia University Business School. But again, the same thing happened. In a few months, everything of what David Sigmund said fell into place like a jigsaw puzzle. And whatever I know about probability theory, delta tending to zero, is because of this great man. So my dear students, if you want to do well, remember, don't ask the professor to come down to your level. Please learn how to rise to their level. If you really want to get something, nowadays what happens is students want the faculty member or the teacher to come down straight to their level. "Sir, I didn't understand." Even before thinking, I didn't understand. I'm telling my own experience teaching 47 years in IIT Delhi. Immediately, when you write one line, "Sir, I didn't understand." How will you understand immediately? It has to sink in, right? So that part of your responsibility is not to make it a TikTok affair, not to make it an Instagram affair, but to wait and let it seep in. And then you see what you get. A good faculty member, a good teacher can give you lots. You can't get it from Google. You cannot get these things from Google search, and you can get information from Google search, but you cannot get wisdom. And if you want to get the fruition of that knowledge, you'll have to be patient. So, what I'm just trying to point out to you people is that there are many roads to the top of the inner Mount Everest. Take whichever road you want, but practice concentration every day. If you want to do well in your studies, want to do well in your life, do this every day. I'll request everybody to please sit down, not move around a little bit. Okay? Now, what I'll do is I'll end off here, but if you want, I'll just give you 2-3 suggestions of what you might do to improve your concentration, okay? Very simple tips, and how that will help you do well in your studies or do well in anything that you do. The few tips are as follows. One is that, this little thing which you use is a two-edged sword. It can cut your throat, or it can give you something very nice. So I'll tell you something very nice part of it. When you are brushing your teeth, and I hope you brush your teeth every morning, okay, just ask, "Hey Siri, what is a morning rag?" So Siri will tell you, the morning rag is Rag Bhairav. "Hey Siri, who is a great Bhairav? Can you give me a nice piece of Bhairav by a great classical musician?" "Yes, Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi." So just when you are brushing your teeth, here for 3-4 minutes, Rag Bhairav sung by Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi. Then when you're going to sleep, do something similar. "Hey Siri, tell me the evening rag, night rag, Rag Malkos, sung by Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar." Put it on for 5 minutes when you're brushing your teeth. And you see, if you do it every day, एक दिन छूट गया तो तुम 40 दिन पीछे. Remember this. If you do it every day, you see how your marks go up slowly but gradually. I can guarantee you that your concentration, your marks will go up like that. Okay? Another thing that you can do is the exercise which I just told you, which I'll make you do. Would you like to try it out just for a few minutes?
Yes, sir.
It's nothing new. We call it the 50 plus 50 plus 50 technique. It's a big name given to something which has already been done for God knows how long. What is the 50 plus 50 plus 50 technique? 50 breaths concentration on your nostrils. 50 breaths, taking your concentration from your nostrils to your nabhi and back. 50 breaths, concentrating in the middle of your forehead, on the feet of your isht. Finished. That's it. If you do it every day, again you see how your marks will go up slowly, slowly, slowly. Again, एक दिन छूट गया तो 40 दिन पीछे. याद रखना. I am not saying something original. This all been time-tested things I am telling you. Okay? So, I'll just end off with one. We'll do this small exercise, but before that I just want to tell you, my dear students, you know, everything that you see, all this beautiful stuff in your room, in this room, outside, constitutes only 7% of what exists. 93% of matter and energy in the universe is dark. Can you see a black hole? No. You know how near the black hole, the nearest black hole to the earth is? About 5.5 million light years away. And you know what's the weight? 6 billion times that of the sun. And you know how many black holes there are in the sky? Millions of black holes. We are not even this speck in the universe. And we think we know it all. So my dear students, remember, bring in that humility that you are just a little speck in the universe. You're standing on a speck in the universe, not even a speck. So, what did our ancestors do? They understood this. And what they did, one beautiful thing they did. You know what they called all this 7%? They gave a beautiful name to it. They called it Maya. Why? Because everything in this small speck is short-lived. Anything you take, you get a new car, you get a new scooter, it'll last for a few days, nothing more. So everything is short-lived. What they concentrated on was giving us a glimpse of that 93%. And how? Just let me, you may say, oh, you're talking big things. Look at Einstein. You know, Einstein, in a small room in Geneva Patent Office, small room, with pen, paper, and mathematics, was able to postulate things which are unimaginable. Fantastic things. Obviously, he got a glimpse of something. Obviously. Because, I'll just give you one example. He postulated the existence of gravitational waves. In 2017, 3 physicists, 100 years after he passed away, got the Nobel Prize for Physics. For what? For proving what Einstein said 100 years back was correct. Can you believe? That's the power of the human mind. My dear students, what you operate on, don't mind my saying it, is so much of your mind. Why? Because that monkey mind of yours, you know, if a monkey is sitting on the tree and you tell the monkey to dance, will it dance? No. But that monkey man catches the monkey and brings it here and says, dance. And the monkey dances. How does he do it? He says, monkey. He trains the monkey. He says, monkey, if you dance, I'll give you a banana. If you don't dance, I'll give you a stick. And the monkey starts dancing. Today, your monkey mind is making you dance. If you can turn the tables and you can make the monkey mind dance, you will be a topper in whatever you do. I can assure you. You will be tops in what you do. You will be able to unleash the power of your mind if you can make the monkey mind dance. For that, all these techniques which I have told you would be very, very, very useful. Okay? I am not saying something original. They are all things time-tested stuff which I am just telling you in retrospect. I have also learned them in retrospect. Okay? So I'll end off here, but I'll make you do this small exercise. And not for the whole thing, just a small, for a little while. And you can try that. If you do it every day, you see what happens. If when you're studying, remember one or two small things. If you study like this, like many students are sitting down like this, looking at their cell phones, it'd be nice if everybody, just for the last few minutes, would you sit up, my dear? Tell her to sit up. Yeah. Just sit up for a little while. Don't mind, huh? You can see the cell phone later. No problem. Just for a few minutes. Okay? It'll benefit you. I request everybody to sit up. Okay? If you sit like this, efficiency of concentration goes down. Remember, when you are studying specifically. Another thing that you have to be careful about when you are studying is that be very still. Try not to move. If you are still, you will find your character of concentration is that builds up, builds up, builds up. As soon as you move, it drops. Again, builds up, builds up, builds up. As soon as you move, it drops. What you do is, you'll sit like this for a little while. Then you'll sit like this for a little while. Then you'll do this for a little while. Then you may even do this for a little while. What happens is, every time you move, concentration drops. So when you're studying, try to be as still as possible. That's number 2. Now we'll do that small exercise and we'll end off there, okay? Now, just sit straight, and this is what mudra, this is called a mudra. Mudra means this, this is like an antenna. If the antenna is crooked, you won't get the waves. It's like an antenna. Touch the thumb and first finger lightly, put it like this. If you put it like this, it's called Gyan Mudra. You're wanting Gyan, you want wisdom. Put it like this, it's Chin Mudra. Either way, no problem. So put it and sit up straight and close your eyes. And just try to do what I'm telling you to do. Take a deep breath. Don't move. If you move, it won't work. Take a deep breath. Hold. Let the air out slowly and keep the air out. Concentrate on the sensation which you get at the nostrils when you are breathing in and breathing out. Change. Don't open your eyes. Now take your concentration from the nostrils, down the windpipe, down to the Nabhi. And while exhaling from the Nabhi, up through the windpipe and out through the nostrils. Long inhalation, long retention, long exhalation, and long shunya, keeping the air out. Change. Don't open your eyes. Now place your Isht in the middle of your forehead and put your full concentration on the feet of your Isht. Long inhalation, long retention, long exhalation, and long shunya. Slowly open your eyes, rub your palms and place them on your eyes. So with this I'll end, and I just want to make one or two requests. One is that please do not clap. This is my prayer which I've come to share with you, okay? So no clapping, number one. Number two is that the movement has to be run by people like you. Students like you are taking this movement far and wide. We do about 5,000 events in 1 year, in about 500 towns in India and 50 abroad. Right from the topmost universities in the world. We've got lovely chapters in Stanford University, in University of California, Berkeley, in Cornell, right to the NITs, IITs, IIMs, top universities, right down to government school Jhumari Talaiya. Everybody says, oh, you're doing 5,000 events. What a great thing. But 5,000 events is nothing. It's peanuts. Not even a drop in the ocean. That is why I took this cycle yatra. To come to meet you people and request you to give a little bit of your time, delta tending to 0, to take this thing forward. In your university, in your ex-school, in more than your ex-school, other schools, colleges, it'll benefit society a lot. This is my request to you. So, with that, I would like to mention that we have already got WhatsApp groups in various universities. Like Cotton College has set up a lovely WhatsApp group. Cotton University. Downtown University has set up a lovely WhatsApp group. If I can get one of you to volunteer to set up, in fact, if you had a QR code, it would have been lovely. But anyway, if we can just have one student or somebody who would volunteer to set up a WhatsApp group called Royal Global University, SPIC MACAY, Royal Global University, Guwahati, Assam. Would anybody like to volunteer? Just this one request I have before going, so that we'll be sending you once a week. You'll put me also in the group, make me an administrator, you'll do it. Thank you very much. And Chetan will also be in the group. Maybe even DCOM will be in the group. And we'll try and send you what's happening, not just in India, but all over the world once a week, and try to enlist your support. May I know your name, if you don't mind, if you come here?
I am Banani Das. I'm a faculty in the university.
Wonderful. May I know what you're teaching?
I teach in the Department of English.
English, wonderful. What's your name once again?
Banani Das.
Banani.
Banani Das.
N-A-L-I?
N-A-N.
Banani. So Banani, how will do you have to give your phone number so that they can send you a message?
Yes, yes.
In which you can just add them in the group.
Yes.
So can you give your phone number on this?
Yes, yes.
Here.
It's circulated right now after the...
How will you circulate it? Unless you tell them. Yeah. They may not be all from English. You see, that I want the whole university.
You can save my number. Take out your phones quickly.
Yeah. And send a missed call to her. You'll be flooded.
I don't use a smartphone still.
Huh?
Take out your phones.
Smartphone, but I will be in touch.
No, what I thought was, if you had a QR code, it would have been lovely. We just flash the code and they just connect it. That's what we've done elsewhere.
We'll
But
do
we
it.
have that much time, so you'll have to give you a number.
Write down. 86 380 84364. 86 380 84364. Save it quickly.
Yeah. And send them this message.
Yes.
You could make that group. It will be called SPIC MACAY, all capitals. SPIC space MACAY, Royal Global University, Guwahati, Assam.
Yes,
Okay? And you will include me also. I can give you my number if you don't mind.
definitely, sir. I see.
And make me an administrator also. And Chetan can also be part of it. 966
966
77 50 557. 7. Okay? Thank you very much. You will send me also your full name and everything, and I'll also put you in my broadcast group. When I send it to you, you will put it into the group. Okay? Thank you very much, Bani. It's very nice of you. That's it. I've done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can do a picture with you. Yes. We should do a picture with Kiran. For sure. More time. Oh, sorry. How excited. No, I forgot that we waited for the board of time. Absolutely. Formalities. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring speech and engaging with the students and the faculty as well. We thank you for taking out time from your schedule and being a part of this event today. The interaction with you allowed us to dive into a deep sea of Indian culture. Thank you for enlightening us about the importance of concentration and ways to develop our concentration level. Thank you for taking us on a voyage of your memories. I would also like to thank Mr. Chetan Sharma for sharing his experience being a part of SPIC MACAY and enlightening us about the ambition SPIC MACAY carries. I would also like to thank the organizing team for giving us this opportunity to be a part of such a wonderful session. I thank the technical team for making sure the event comes to a successful end. Lastly, I would like to thank the audience for being a part of this session. Thank you so much.
One second. Kiran, one second. Can I just add on to this?
Personal thanks. Now, first thing, very good evening, Kiran. What a delight to have him here in our university. So I take this opportunity to share one small thought with all of you. First off, I'm so glad that you're still around. Like, I was a little disappointed when he was saying that if you have to leave, leave, don't make that noise. So it's a very sad story that way, first. Secondly, I must tell you, my growth as a simple human being on planet Earth, like a small speck which Kiran talks about, it was in the year, let's not give away years, it was the time when I just passed out of high school and I joined Cotton College. You know, I'm ancient, I'm DCOM as it is. I came before ECOM, don't forget. So when I joined Cotton College, we had a professor who's no longer with us, called Professor Prajanna Babi Borua. I was in the Department of English, so he was a professor, and a very close associate of Kiran's. And it was in my aunt's place, Chapala Borua in Chanmari, where initially sessions took place of SPIC MACAY. And that's my father's elder sister, again a very close associate of our professor. Now, I just joined college, and first thing sir says is, you have exams, doesn't matter, but you have to go and lead this delegation from Guwahati because it's the annual convention of SPIC MACAY. And guess where we went? Has anyone here in this room heard about the Kerala Kala Mandalam? You're from Kerala. So, of course, I must tell you, sir, that we booked ourselves tickets in the second class train, sleeper class, 3 of us, Deepak Sharma, Abir Bordler, and yours truly. And with just notion of SPIC MACAY in mind, and Dr. Kiran Seth for us then, who we haven't met, in mind, packed our backpacks and a hold all because we had to sleep and reach Kerala Kala Mandalam. And from that moment onwards, it was their diamond jubilee, mind you. What stroke of luck. We saw Pandit Ravi Shankar, Pandit Ustad Al-Larakha, L. Subramaniam, Pandit L. Subramaniam, and one Ghatam player, whose name I'm forgetting, sorry about this, but this is, see, and this, if I still close my eyes, I can see that concert. It was an overnighter, and then, because we were SPIC MACAY volunteers, we could talk to these ustads at close proximity. Someday, in one of our SPIC MACAY meetings, Banani, just remind me, I will bring that album We learned 7 days of basic Kalaripattu in the studio there. And we also woke up at 4 o'clock, rogues that we were. So a little bit that I have, polished myself is SPIC MACAY since my initial years in college. And of course, the trip to Japan where I was there as a scholar. These are the two things that changed my life. So please actively take this journey forward. And it will be, more than anything else, it will be for your own personal growth. Thank you very much for giving all of us a patient hearing, and keep the flag flying high. Thank you and good evening. Thank you, Kiran, once again. Sorry? If you have questions, anybody questions? Feel free. But if you don't, I think go back with these thoughts, what Kiran shared. And from that day onwards, till date, everywhere where we go, if there is a SPIC MACAY concert, we make it a point to be there. What growth. Seriously, jokes apart. All the best and good evening.